content of their use. So it was more of qualitative, and later part also different scientists talked about the qualitative nature of content analysis. So most of the times we in content analysis we discuss about the use of words, the use of concept, the use of phrases, the in speech or in a written form or whatever. So it's analyzing those things and coming out with a meaningful description of the thing. So content analysis is a research method that helps the researcher to explore the occurrence and relationship between various words, phrases, themes, or concept in a text or a set of text or in a speech or in different ways. This method allows researchers in different disciplines to conduct qualitative and quantitative analysis on a variety of the text. Large amount, though I told you earlier that in qualitative, it's the small and amount of data, but in content analysis, the data is large because we have lot of earlier, when we used to do a research, we always fall short of contents, we always fall short of papers, we always fall short of books, and we used to move from one library to another library and in different newspaper publications that give us your older newspaper. Nowadays everything is online, so we have lot of content. So whenever we are doing research, there is never a problem of a content. Nowadays we have a problem of sampling, to sample out whatever we require from a large content. So large amount of content is used here for the meaningful analysis. So there are different disciplines which use content analysis. Rather, I would say in social sciences, most of the discipline use content analysis nowadays. It starts with anthropology, and you can see in anthropology where they are talking about the older societies. There are different writings on older societies. There are different pictures, there are different artifacts. All these things are used and analyzed to come up with a meaningful research through content analysis in anthropology. Then in communications, history use a lot of content analysis. Languages, linguistics, and literary studies, they use content analysis. Marketing, marketing and business studies, all these disciplines use content analysis. Political science, psychology, sociology, and some other disciplines use content analysis for their research. So this type of analysis is gaining popularity and is used in different social sciences. So what is the data which is being used in content analysis? So generally, when I'm saying the use of words, it's usually the written data. But apart from written data, there are a lot of other data which is being used for the content analysis. One is speech, different speech. We have a recording of speech, and this speech is used as for the analysis, content analysis. The words which are being used in the speech, the gestures of the speech, the relationship between the words in speech, all these are being analyzed for the content analysis. Interview and discussion transcript, newspaper articles, headlines, these are being analyzed as the content analysis. Literary works, of course. Then there are certain notification, essays, letters, historical documents are very important documents, and these documents are used for content analysis. Government reports, lot of government reports are being used by different researchers and sometimes politicians and others, and they analyze these documents for some meaningful answers. Academic paper and even musical lyrics, these are being used for content analysis. But one thing which is very important here is that whenever we do research, we go into the field, we go deep into the field, and we collect a lot of data. Here, this is the content analysis. The kind of research is a desk research. Here we sit on our desk, we collect different data from books, from newspaper, from recordings, from videos, and all these things. But we don't have to go to the field. So we are sitting at our home, in our offices, in our research cubicles. We are just collecting data from different sources, and those data and those data are being analyzed on the desk itself. It is being studied on the discuss. It is not a field work. The way we talk about field work and field work analysis, this is a desk analysis, desk research, which you have to understand. So, as I told you that these are being used in different disciplines. So, the researcher, those who use content analysis, um, are historians, biographers, market researchers. Some researchers use content analysis to explore different decision making and cognitive process. Maybe psychologists. Um, then in current scenario, artificial intelligence or computer scientists are also using content analysis because they are making lot of tools, they are making lot of softwares, and they have to learn about each and every word, the relation between the words, and so on. Now you see chat gpt. How many of you are using chat gpt? Anybody using chat gpt? In chat gpt, whatever we are writing, whatever we are extracting, that is being added to the machine. So machine, whatever we write, that analyzes, the word, that analyzes the phrase, that analyzes a thing with other words, the relation with other words, and ultimately that is incorporated into the content, into their chat gpt or into their data, so that it can be used. So content analysis is used for understanding the intentions of the individual group. So whosoever is speaking, you know, what are his intentions? What he means. See, somebody speaks, we can understand the meaning of the word. We can understand the relation with other words, but sometimes it's the intention which has to be understood. And to understand the intentions, whosoever is speaking, that content analysis is being used. So content is used to find out the purpose, message, and effect of communication content. Okay, so it is to understand the intentions, correlation and pattern, how concepts are communicated, identifying propaganda and bias in communication, relieving difference in communication and different contexts. In different contexts, sometimes politicians speak something at one context and other thing at the other context. So all these things, the content analysts, they use all their speeches, they analyze all their speeches, and ultimately come up with a meaningful analysis of the speeches. So this is how the content analysis is used. Then when we talk about content analysis, it is simple. A content analysis, no, there are two types of content analysis. One is conceptual analysis, another is relational analysis. When we talk about conceptual analysis, in conceptual analysis, the appearance and frequency of different concepts are observed. Such information helps further in qualitative or quantitative analysis of the text. It is inexpensive and easily understood research method to draw inferences and conclusion about the research subject. It is relatively straightforward analytical tool, does not consist of multi-step process to ensure reliability and validity study. So conceptual is straightforward. We generally understand the concept. We generally understand the relation of concept with other concept, and this is how we move on in conceptual analysis. Then there is a relational analysis. In relational analysis, the relationship between different terms that appear in text is examined. So there are different, concepts, different words in the text, their relation is examined. It requires code to the text. That I will coding I will discuss afterwards when I'll discuss the whole process. So every every word, every phrase, that is been coded so that the relationship can be find out. Depending upon the type of relational analysis, three types of relational analysis are commonly used: affection, affect extract, promixity analysis, and cognitive analysis. So these are the three different types of analysis which are being done through the relational analysis. Then advantages. Why we should use the uh, content analysis? One of the most important thing which I have told you earlier, that there is no direct involvement with the participants. There is whosoever speech is being analyzed, we are not meeting that person, we are just using his speech, so he cannot influence the researcher directly. So whenever we are collecting the data, we are going into the field, we are getting the essence of the field, we have certain influence of the field, we have certain intention, we get to know about the intention, direct intention of the person. But here we are not meeting the participants, we are just knowing them from their articles, from the text, from their speeches, from their videos. So the direct influence is not there. So objectivity can be maintained, though no social sciences are objective. That is very clear. There is always a content of subjectivity, but here, since the direct involvement is not there, objectivity can be guaranteed at some point. This is transparent and replicable. Content analysis follows a systematic process that can easily be replicated by other researchers, yielding research with high reliability. So it's a process uh, that involves systematic procedure. So others can also involve. Highly flexible. One can conduct content analysis at any time, in any location, and at a very low cost. As I told you, it's a DEX research. So people sit at their home, at their offices, and they don't have to move here and there, and it's in any location you can do. Um, uh, Access to appropriate sources are already required. So you need to have sources, and ultimately you can move with your research. So disadvantages are also there, because when we are talking about lot of text, lot of videos, speeches, and focusing on certain concepts, certain phrases, sometimes it becomes really ambiguous. Just sitting on a table and working and working, and there might be two words with same meaning, or same word with different meanings. Have you watched that movie PK? पीके देखी है किसी ने?
Yes, sir.
तो पीके में वो एक आमिर खान जेल में एक बार बात कर रहा होता है हीरोइन से, तो कहता कि इस प्लेनेट की मुझे समझ ही नहीं आती है, वी टच एंड वी कम्युनिकेट, हियर एक वर्ड के डिफरेंट मीनिंग्स है, एंड ही यूज दैट वर्ड विद एक्सप्रेशन, अच्छा अच्छा, मींस यू हैव अ क्वेश्चन इन माइंड, अच्छा, देन अच्छा अच्छा, मतलब अच्छे को ही डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टोन्स में वो बोल के उसके डिफरेंट डिफरेंट मीनिंग डिपिक्ट करता है. सो इन कंटेंट एनालिसिस देयर माइट बी वन वर्ड विद डिफरेंट मीनिंग or different word with same meaning. So sometimes it becomes really ambiguous. It's subjective. Content analysis almost always involves some level of subjective interpretation, which can, because a researcher is doing of his own alone, and he's comparing one word with other with his own understanding. Sorry, with his own understanding, and these understanding can lead to subjectivity. And one thing very clear, that whatever social sciences are there, subjective element is always there. It's time consuming, though it is flexible, we can do it anywhere, but it's kind of time consuming, because a large amount of data is transferred into a meaningful concepts, phrases, and other things. So comparing one concept with other, or making a relation with different concepts and meanings, and words and other things, it is very time consuming. Though nowadays we are using software also, but even with softwares, it's not that easy to conduct a research. It takes time. So how to conduct such a kind of analysis, content analysis? So now, up to now, we have talked about content analysis, different type of analysis, and this is what we are doing. But how to conduct a research? So for any research, any kind of research, maybe content analysis, or other kind of analysis, we have certain questions in mind. So we have to start with a clear and direct research question. If we don't have a research question, and that too a clear research question, that means we will follow a different path. So whenever you are doing a research, you should have a clear question. You know, वो फिल्म थी कौन सी, शोले, और गब्बर सिंह के कुछ लोग मारे जाते हैं, वो कालिया वापस आ जाता है और वो पूछ रहा है होली कब है, होली कब है। सब कहते हैं सरदार पागल हो गया है, इसको रिवेंज लेना और वो होली खेलने का सोच रहा है। नो, ही हैज अ वेरी क्लियर question in mind that when is the holy and I am going to revenge from that two people. So you should have a very clear direct question in your mind, what you want to do. So whenever you have to start a content analysis, have a clear question, avoid distraction within the data source, concepts, phrases, their relation, and so on. Because if you have a distraction, कैसे करूंगा, वो लूंगा या ये करूंगा, no. First clear yourself, read and clear yourself what you want to do. Once you are clear with your question, you can move further very easily. Select the content to be analyzed. Based on your research question, choose the text that needs to be analyzed. Because कौन सा टेक्स्ट लेना है, कौन सा मटेरियल, कौन सा सोर्स आपने लेना है, वो क्लियर है. द मीडियम माइट बी द न्यूज़पेपर, द स्पीचेस, द वेबसाइट्स, द बुक्स, opinion, political campaign, and other things. One thing very clear that you should become clear कौन सा आपने उसमें मीडियम लेना है. इंक्लूजन एंड एक्सक्लूजन क्राइटेरिया, कौन सी चीज रखनी है, कौन सी चीज छोड़नी है. Most of the times I told you that in content analysis we have lot of content around us, we have lot of sources around us. Nowadays, in the era of internet, it's just a blink of the eye and everything is in front of you. So if lot of things are in front of you, you may get confused what to take, what. So based on your research question, be clear what you want to include as a data and what you want to exclude. Generally the data is large. If the data is large, you can make samples out of it कि आपने क्या रखना है, क्या नहीं रखना. If the data is small, then you can take whole of the data. Otherwise you can do a sampling. But most of the times I had seen nowadays there are a lot of data around us. Then based on research question, categories are defined, which may be characters. Now in your content, what you require, are you working on characters? Maybe the character in linguistics, in literary studies, there are certain characters. You want to work on characters, you want to work on concepts. If speeches are there, you want to work on style of speech, the phrases, their relation. So it entirely depends upon your research question, what are the unit and categories of analysis. So define your units, define your categories, and accordingly work on that. Maybe it's character, concepts, phrases, words, and so on. Speeches, speech में जो भी character, जो भी चीज आप देखना चाह रहे हैं. See, in speech there are two-hour speech, and in that 2-hour speech, what you want to focus on, that is very important. This is how I'm saying. So define the units which you want to analyze. Once you define the units, develop the set of rules for coding. Coding is very important in content analysis. Every see, you have selected a character. Now what do you want to focus in that character? What he is speaking, what words he is using, how he is framing the content. So whatever he is framing, every word, uh, every word or phrase or a concept which you are working on, that should have a code, so that you can find out how it is related with the another concept, and so on. Coding involves organizing the units into meaning for the defined categories. So every code, so concept is there, the meaning is in the set of codes. For conceptual categories, it is important to ensure that all texts are coded consistently. Then coding rules are especially important if multiple researchers are involved. So if multiple researchers are involved, so there should be a coding, so everyone should understand the code. But even if single researcher is involved, coding helps to create a transparency of the research. Otherwise, subjectivity will comes in. So coding is a very important part. Once you develop the codes for concepts and other things, then you have to apply the codes. So for the application of the codes, go through each text and record all relevant data in the appropriate categories. It can be done manually or aided with computer programs. Nowadays, there are different computer programs which do coding for you. It is a very important part of content analysis. And even, there are computer programs. One should be aware of the programs. One should be able to use those programs. And it is not that easy also. Though people say it's easy. I have done one or two content analysis. I found it's not that easy. You have to be very clear about the software which you are using and how it is being used and how you will add the data to it, so that proper kind of coding and the rest computer will do for you, that relation between concepts and other things. It can be done manually or aided with computer programs such as QSR, Nevivo, Atlas.ti, and Diction, which can help and speed up the process of counting and categorizing words and phrases. So rest is analyze the result and draw conclusion. Once coding is complete, the collected data is examined to find patterns and draw conclusion in response to the research questions. So the data is analyzed to find, of course, to draw conclusion and to find the relations, to find the patterns, how the speech is going, how the text is going. And these analyses are most of the time subjective analysis, because it's according to the understanding of the researcher. See, qualitative research is most of the times lot of subjectivity is there, though in quantitative objectivity is there, but of course if it is in social sciences, subjectivity will always be there. But in qualitative, most of the time subjective intentions do come in. So statistical analysis can also be done to find the correlation among the trends and other things. So whatever interpretation that has come out, that interpretation has to be discussed and to make inferences about the creators, content, and audience of the text. So whatever inferences are there, one has to discuss those, so that a clear understanding may come out from different researchers, and clear inferences can be made. Another important is manifest and latent analysis. So whenever we are doing analysis, there are different type of analysis. One is manifest analysis, which involves surface structure, which is whatever is being said in the speech, whatever is there in the text, that it studies straight away, and straight away it is interpreted that this is what is being said. जैसे हम न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं, तो न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ने के बाद हमें जो भी उस न्यूज़ में दिख रहा है या जो हमें समझ आया है, वो सीधा एक मैनिफेस्ट है. बट देयर आर सर्टेन underlying meanings. So those, if to understand those underlying meanings, in-depth analysis has to be done, and this is known as latent analysis, which involve deep structure, what intended to be said. स्पीच में एक आदमी कुछ बोल तो रहा है जो हमने समझ लिया, लेकिन उसकी इंटेंशन क्या है उसके बोलने के पीछे, दैट हैज टू बी अंडरस्टूड. दैट इज अ लेटेंट एनालिसिस. अच्छा, then again, whenever we are doing a kind of analysis, there are another important thing which is very important: inductive and deductive outcomes. Whatever we understood from the analysis, content analysis, and inferences, and we apply it as a theory. We understood it as it is. That is an inductive analysis. But sometimes we have a preconditions. We have presumptions in mind. We have certain theories in mind, and we analyze those inferences and those analysis in the light of those theories. That is known as deductive outcomes. So this is how we can conclude that the description content analysis how the validity and reliability of all the process can be increased. There are both advantages and the disadvantages of the content analysis, and it is easy to understand analyzing process that can be used even by those new to the area. So content analysis should be done in a procedural way so that reliability and validity of the whole process can be increased and can be validated. Then we have certain advantages, we have certain disadvantages of content analysis. And another important thing is it should be done in a way everybody can understand. It is easy process. It's not that only coding part. One has to be very very careful, and one has to be careful about the sources which they are taking. And in the whole process, your research question should guide you. You should not be confused about your research question. You find certain type of data from the content and you moved into that, forgetting your research question, that will lead to somewhere else. So always there should be a research question active in your mind, so that whatever source you are selecting, whatever characters and whatever units you are selecting, that should be according to your research question. And be careful in coding process. And once that is done, it is easy to analyze and everyone can do that. But another part of our presentation today is thematic analysis. So there is, a bit of relation between content analysis and thematic analysis. So if there is a relation, there should be a difference also. So what is the difference between the content analysis? Content analysis typically uses descriptive approach to the data and may use either quantitative or qualitative analytical method. But when it comes to thematic, by contrast, the thematic analysis only uses qualitative method. Here, the only qualitative method is being used to explore frequently occurring themes in the text. So whatever themes which are occurring, that has to be analyzed in the thematic analysis. Thematic analysis technique use coding of data, searching of themes, refining the themes, and reporting the findings. So here also we have a coding of data. Then after coding the data, searching the themes. After searching the themes, refining the themes. So the clear theme should come out from the data, from the content, and reporting, of course, report writing. It is a method of analyzing qualitative data. It involves the identification and reporting of patterns in the data set interpreted for their inherent meaning. Patterns can be found on the basis of understanding of the meaning of keywords used by the participant. Keywords are very important. So these keywords actually, help you to find the patterns within the data. So coding, but keywords are also very important. So process, what is the process of this thematic analysis? Transcript creation and data familiarization. So first of all, you have to familiarize yourself with the data. What kind of data is there? And making a transcript of the data so that you can understand the data in a better word. So when you understand the whole of the data, you understand certain concepts and other things. There are certain keywords that needs to be highlighted within the data. So once the keywords are highlighted, there is a coding of these keywords. Then once you code the keyword, you analyze the things, the themes developed. Once the themes are developed from the data, conceptualization through the interpretation of keywords, codes, and themes. You have to come out with certain concepts, then development of conceptual model as a whole. I have a, I'll send this, presentation to Rajesh so that he can share with you. So here is a whole model which I have developed, that selection of quotations, then there are keywords, then there is a coding, then there are themes, then there is conceptualization, and the model of whole of the conceptualization that has to be understood. Then transcription, familiarization with the data, and selection of quotations. It involves the transcription of the data and familiarizing with the data. So whenever there is a data, you have to understand the data first, because whatever data you have collected, you know, you just go through and started working on it without understanding, because the whole data is the qualitative data. You don't have to go into the field. So whatever under, because when you go into the field now, there are a lot of other under, though we get influenced also, but there are a lot of other understanding which comes with the field. And once you are analyzing the things, you have certain memories of the field that helps you in analyzing the data. But in content analysis and this thematic analysis, you are not going into the field. You are here in your office, or in your at your home, or where is your research institute. You are just sitting there, you have just selected the data, but you have to read, understand, make the things very very clear for you. Because if each and everything is not clear, then you may enter into a confusion, and this confusion, uh, make your research very ambiguous. It will take you to some other world, and in the end you will be confused. You don't know what to do, or what to do and what not to. So understanding your data is very important. Do understand very well, do familiarize yourself very well with the data. Then only you are able to come up with the transcription of the data. Select initial themes and important sections. So when you understood your data, then what kind of themes which are coming up, general themes, that are coming up, you have to underline that. You have to uh, understand the keywords and important sections of the data. Select codes that bring data to life, because certain codes, certain part of the data, that is actually the essence of the data. Underline that, understand that, select that, and see different viewpoints within the data, which is pertinent to your research and research objectives. So when you understand these things, it is easy for you to move further in this analysis. Then you have to, when you understand the data, then you have to understand the keywords. It involves close examination of the data from interviews, focus groups, or visual content. The data can be anything. The visual content, as I told you, the photograph, the interviews, the focus group, or any other thing. Identify recurring patterns, terms, or visual elements that designate them as a keyword. So, whatever is there, you have to understand, you have to see the patterns, and these patterns will help you to find out the keywords from the data. These keywords encapsulate participant experience and perception and are directly derived from the data. So, these keywords will give you the understanding about the participants, about whatever they are speaking, whatever is there, that will give you a kind of essence of that, and that will help you to find out the patterns within the data, and themes also. Well, coding short phrases or words known as codes are designated to segment of the data that capture the data core message, significance, or theme. So whatever the themes are there, whatever the short themes, short words which you think it's important, the codes are given to them, codes are assigned to them, and that words, and they are the core of the data. They are the core of your research. It it simplifies complex textual data by transforming into a theoretical form and assists in identifying elements related to research questions. Keywords plays an important role in coding, because what you are coding the key role. So keyword plays an important role in coding, as they form the backbone of the analysis and help to convert the raw data into insightful, meaningful units. It's always the keywords that will help you, that will make you understand the patterns within the data. Once you understand these patterns, that has to be analyzed for further involvement. Theme development. It involves organizing codes into meaningful groups to identify pattern and relationship and insights into the research question. So out of the keywords, the themes has to be taken out. uh, the codes has to be organized into a meaningful group to identify patterns. So whatever codes of the keywords which has been assigned, that will identify the pattern and relationship and insight into the research question. So it's the research question, from research question to the keywords as per the research keywords, and the development of the theme and the model as a whole. So it will start from the research question to the end product. Transition from the detailed analysis of codes and the categories to more abstract interpretation by creating the theme. So creating, because it is thematic analysis, so creating a theme is a process from the raw data to a meaningful theme through keywords and coding. These themes form pattern meanings that link the research question and data. So you have to be very clear about your research question, and once you understand your data, you move further, you create keywords, you find certain raw themes, then you code, and accordingly you make a full conceptual model. Conceptualization through interpretation of keywords, codes, and things. So conceptualization involves understanding and defining concepts emerging from the data, identifying social pattern and refine them into definition that align with research. So you have to identify social pattern, refine them, and define them to as per your research. Tools like diagram and models to understand the relationship among the concepts are being used. So different tools are being used. That may be diagram, that may be models, that may be videos, pictures, and other things. The definitions are assessed based on clarity, accuracy, reliability, applicability, and their contribution to theory and practice. So theory development is an important part. So whatever you are researching, whatever themes you are coming out of, whatever patterns you are developing, and the conceptual model that has that should have relation with the theory, and that should have a contribution towards the theory. So ultimately, there is a conceptual model. The final step in thematic analysis is the development of conceptual model. The whole model has to be developed. This process involves creating a unique presentation of data and is often guided by existing theories. The model serves to answer the research question and underscore the study contribution to the knowledge, which I have told you that it has to be analyzed in the light of the existing theories, and whatever outcome is there, it should contribute to the theoretical model and overall contribution of the knowledge. So this is how we have discussed the content analysis and the thematic analysis, and with this I complete my presentation. And now it is up to the audience and the participants. If they have any question, they can come up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Participants, if have any question, please ask the resource person, or you can send through the chat also.
They can send to the chat. Otherwise, if some other question emerges in their mind after some time, they can write to me also. No problem. It's a complex model when it comes to coding. To find out the finding the themes and words and concepts is not that difficult because you have a research question. But coding is a bit a complex process. So one has to understand the coding, and another important thing is while doing coding we have now certain these applications also, so one can go through that also. But earlier manual coding is fine, you understand each and everything by yourself. I think there are no questions. I think there are no questions, ma'am. Anyone shall?
Sir,
Hanji.
sir, can you please give an example where thematic analysis is done? What is a theme?
See, whenever we are. See, I'll give you the example that there is a speech in a parliament. There is a speech in a parliament, and you after a speech, any important speech, maybe of Prime Minister or Rahul Gandhi, after a speech, you know, different TV channels come up different themes of that speech. One says Rahul Gandhi is talk. Let's take the example of Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi is talking about different sections of the society, and another TV channel is talking about Rahul Gandhi is disintegrating the country by talking about different sections of the society. We are talking about unity. They are talking about different sections, and they are like most of the he talks about OBC. So somebody is talking. He's talking about the plights of OBC. Other says he's disintegrating by unnecessarily talking about. So this is how the themes are. So for that, his certain keywords, certain words are taken into account, and those words are analyzed. Those words are combined with other phrases, his previous speeches, and ultimately a theme is developed from his speech. That theme is debated in certain news channels. So this is I'm giving a small example. Otherwise, when there is a systematic research, one is sitting on a table, they analyze certain other things, and ultimately they make a certain they select certain words, they make keywords of those words, and those keywords are coded, and ultimately a whole theme is created out of the source which is being used, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question from the participants? Okay, so I think the participants have raised their query or whatever the questions they were having. So we are now at the end of the session. So as we have the culture or the tradition to end the session with the vote of thanks. So on behalf of the research cell of Akbar PY College of Commerce and Economics and all the participants who are attending this session, I express heartfelt gratitude to the resource person. Sir, you gave in-depth information and it was very enlightening and interesting session. And on behalf of all, on behalf of everyone, I express a heartfelt gratitude. Thank you very much, sir, with us in this session.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Uh, Another request is there, participant. We can have the break of 15 minutes, and after that, the next session will be start. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.